Bowl season is finally here. NCAA basketball action and how to bet tonight's Monday Night Football game. All that and more on the Golden Ticket Show. Welcome back, everyone. We are back for another, another episode of Lunchtime Locks, the Golden Ticket Show. We had a very interesting day yesterday. Went back and forth. We finished just under a unit after Lamar Jackson couldn't pull through for us in the end there. But we're back with some more action today. We have some great bets tonight that I absolutely love. I'm putting them through right now so we can hang up everything on the banner down below. But I hope everyone had a great weekend. But while we're doing this, let's go ahead and break down what we did this week. So when you take a look at our record basketball, we were 5-2 on the week. Better than last week. We had a little bit of an increase there as we take a look at what we hit. Only two losses we had were Weber State plus 9.5 and the Arkansas Pine Bluff USF under at 161.5. But we took Gonzaga Connecticut minus 5.5. That cash. Tulane minus 6.5, and that one was close. Liberty pulled out an 18-point win. Oral Roberts kept it close, and USF did end up covering a 17-point spread for us. NBA action last week. We also had a back and forth week. We finished 16-12, up 0.3 of a unit. If I didn't mention it, basketball, we went up 3.5 units on the week. This week, 16-12, with a 2% return on investment. Up 0.3 of a unit from basketball. Couple bad losses there, a couple parlays lost by 1, but we'll take a profit regardless. NFL, we are currently 8-12-1 on the week. Going into tonight, we're down about 4 units on NFL this week after honestly, when I look at it, it was a couple of just I feel like where they had the luck factor in the NBA or in the NFL that we just got hit with the unlucky factor. We got hit with that rainstorm in the middle of the game in Carolina. We got hit with Atlanta not being able to cover that -3. Minshew pulled one out at the end there, and they ended up winning that game, which kind of hurt us as we took his over. We trusted Najee Harris, and he sucks. And then I don't think anyone could have expected an 84-point outburst from the Raiders-Chargers game. But we go on. College football this week, we were 2-3 on our plays that we had posted. We hit only thing we hit was in the Miami, Ohio App State game. We took the under at 44.5 in Miami, Ohio. Plus 6.5 to cover the spread. Georgia Southern absolutely screwed us there. Last-minute touchdowns from Jacksonville State and Louisiana Monroe kind of hurt us there. And UCLA Boise State with an outburst in the second half that just really caused a struggle for us. So that hurt. We did sweep our plays from Premier League this week, so we went up about 0.6 of a unit from that. And we hit our one play from Champions League, which put us up about 0.2 of a unit. So overall, we were 35-33 with a 0.85 unit loss. So not the biggest loss, but obviously you don't want to see a negative anywhere in there. So we're going to get back to that this week. Now, we first thing we always do is cover soccer. We don't have any soccer plays really so far this week. There's no games for Champions League. And Premier League doesn't start till Thursday. If I see a line available for like the FA Cup and some of these local, like some other these little tournaments that I'm able to bet on. I'll obviously be putting those up here as well. But we're going to go ahead and dive straight into college basketball. Our first play, we had taken the over 140 in the game between Louisiana Monroe, Jacksonville. If you guys follow our Twitter, you would have seen that one up already. And that game, we're kind of sweating it a bit. We have about 12 minutes to go in the second half, and both teams are combined for 87 points. So, but Jacksonville they're scoring hot. The problem's going to be Monroe. Monroe's only scored 7 points so far. They're in the second half. They're kind of struggling. If you want to live bet it, I still like the over here. I think as close as the game is, we're going to see a lot of free throws coming down towards the end. So that's what we're going to keep up with right there. But so that was our first play. Our other college play today, there wasn't a lot of action that, I'm looking forward to. Obviously, tomorrow is going to be a lot bigger between, like, we got Virginia, Memphis, Florida, Michigan. When in reality, I think only 3 games tomorrow: Marquette, Providence, Florida, Michigan, Virginia, Memphis, and Georgetown and Butler. So we're going to look more into those games tomorrow, try to get one bet for each one. But the other play I like today, as I'm pulling it up right here, is Oakland plus 16.5. Now, we faded Michigan last on Saturday, and they absolutely killed Baylor and just really, really destroyed us. So, but I think this is a good letdown spot for Michigan State here. As you can see, whenever Oakland has been a underdog of 10 or more points this year, they've covered every single time. As you can see, and that's against some of these top tier teams. They played, I think it's Ohio State was their actually first game. I'm going to double check that because it just says OSU. It doesn't really give us a logo, so I just want to make sure I got that right before I start spewing nonsense. Yeah, so their first 2 games of the year were at Ohio State and at Illinois as nearly as a 20-point underdog and a 25-point underdog, and they only lost by 6. They only lost by 11, so they're covering the spread fairly easily. I think this is a team that, if you look, they've covered the 16.5 in every game but one, and everything I've seen from this game just looks like it was just a bad shooting night and a team that was hot. But as you can see, some of their games, Drake is considered a top 35, 36 team this year, and they held in close even though they were a favorite in this game. As well, as you can see, they lost to Toledo by 1 as a 1-point favorite. They won by 14 here against Eastern Michigan in as a 6-point favorite. So when they're I think they play better as an underdog so far this season. As you can tell, look, Xavier, again, a 15-point underdog, and they won. And you got a 25-point underdog as an 11-point game. Now, especially not to mention all of these big games that they've been underdogs in, they have been on the road. So these have been cupcake games that they've played well. And if you look at Michigan State, they have only covered the spread. They've only had really, if you look, they had the meltdown at the beginning of the season, but they're slowly kind of climbing their way back up. When they're a favorite, lately they've been struggling. You can see a 3.5-point favorite Nebraska, they lost by 7. A 5.5-point favorite against Wisconsin, they get blown out. You have Georgia Southern, they brought in and they absolutely destroyed them. But the big thing I want to look at is at home, they've only covered against the bad teams. Other than James Madison, they haven't covered really against anyone that's been notable. Alcorn, Georgia Southern, USI, and Baylor was the one game other than JMU I'm really kind of looking at here. But Wisconsin's the big one I'm thinking of. Is they had a home game on the 28th and they blew a team out by 31. Then they come in as a favorite and they lose by 13 versus this team that has just consistently been, if you look, they've played only 4 home games this year and they've played 7 away games. They've covered the spread in every single away game but Drake, and they went into that game as a favorite. Every other game though that they've played this year, they have won. So I like Oakland's chance, and unless Michigan State comes out, and this is just their way of putting everyone on notice that not only do they beat Baylor, but they can take out these teams where they're heavily favored too. I really like Oakland in this case. Feed me the Golden Bears or the Golden Grizzlies. Give me the points. I'll gladly take the plus 16.5 here in this case. And once again, I'm going to keep giving updates on this game because this is actually making me nervous. As we got 91 points with 10 minutes left. So they're on pace for, let's see, that's 14, that's 24, 8, 32. They're on pace for at least 32 more points in this game, and actually JU just made another shot. They're at 93 with 10 minutes left. So between a 59-point half, that puts them at 34 points, 68. We're going to be sweating this, but again, I think this hits. I think it's going to be a very low hit, but I think the way this game's playing is we're going to see a lot of free throws here towards the end, and that's going to result in us hitting this over here. So let's go on to what everyone's wanting to watch right now, college football. Good God, they spoiled us with some good like mid-level action, the Maction games, SoCon, Sunbelt games this week. We have one game today. It is Western Kentucky, Old Dominion. Now, I caught this at 4.5. It's kicked up to 6.5. I think this would be the max I would play it. If not, you could probably do something like take the minus 230 and put it with like Toronto to win or something, and you make the parlay like a 151. Something like that. I might actually take that later on just as a backup option. But this game starts at 2:30. You have a Western Kentucky team that's on quarterback 3. They've had their top 2 quarterbacks have both said they're entering the transfer portal. So I'm going to put this line at where I had it at just to show you guys. You can even, if you want to buy down, I think it's even worth buying down to back where it was at, because it's still at a like a minus 130, which isn't too bad. Obviously, it's not minus 110, but it's still not bad. Now, obviously, Old Dominion has not really covered the best this year. As you can see, once they kind of towards the end of the season, they've kind of struggled with covering anything. They've left their games a little bit too close, or they've gotten blown out. But if you look at the last couple games of their season, they had bowl eligible, but not making a bowl game, and bowl eligible teams. Western Kentucky, with their starters, were kind of iffy already. As you can see, they failed to cover 5 consecutive games before their game against Florida International to end the season. But with the fact that about 7 of their players, I think last check, have entered transfer portal and will not play, even though the team has granted them permission to play while they're in the transfer portal. Like I said, they're on QB3, which is the coach's son. Old Dominion has pretty much their entire starting lineup from both offense and defensive side in. As strong as Kentucky's offense is, I think that limits them a lot. As you can see, like a lot of their games are scoring 40-something points. But if you look at Old Dominion, they're keeping a lot of these teams, besides the offensive like weapons of like Liberty and JMU and Coastal Carolina, they're keeping a lot of these teams below 3 touchdowns. And like a lot of times, like what we saw when they played JMU, because that was the one game I really got a chance to watch them. Whenever they're getting scored on, if it's a defense that's starting to weaken down and they figured out how to play it, they match it every single time. They don't go away from what works. So I really like Old Dominion here. They've been good to us on the spread, so I will gladly take them once again. every time I've taken them so far in the spread, they've won. I'm 2-0 with them. I'll gladly take them go for a 3-0 sweep in the 2023 season for Old Dominion. So there we have it. Those are our college basketball and college football bets. Oakland plus 16.5, Old Dominion minus 4.5. Again, you can get this at 6.5, or you can drop it down to 4.5. This game starts at 2:30, so make sure you guys get those in. Coming back after the break, we are going to go over our NBA action.
My name's Ryan Allison. I've spent over a decade immersed in the art of tattooing. Sharply honing my skills has materialized into a diverse and prestigious body of work. Each tattoo reflects my relentless pursuit of excellence, and every client I work with is a living embodiment of that unwavering commitment. I will gladly and wholeheartedly embrace your distinct vision.
Welcome back. Now let's get into some of this NBA action that we got tonight. Now we have a full slate today. We have, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 11 games tonight. As we go into closer to Christmas, we might see a lot of teams kind of taking a couple of days off. We got like the Knicks, or after tonight they're going back and they play back-to-back against the Bucks, which is a very dangerous matchup that we'll look into a little bit later. But the big ones that we have are fairly simple. We're going to go into our first one, which is Clippers money line. Now, this team, I feel like we're due for a letdown somewhere, and this might be the time. But the way these two teams are played, if you look at their, since the in-season tournament, they only won by 8 against a terrible Pistons team. They got beat by 14. Without Halliburton, they got beat by 14. And without Halliburton, again, they got beat by 18. So that means Halliburton has missed 3 games this season. In those 3 games without Tyrese Halliburton, they have gotten beat by a total of 90 points. They're getting beat about 30 a game without him. And they're now facing a Clippers team that is very hot. And if you look at the rest of their schedule, going through the next couple of games before Christmas, they have a little bit of a weaker schedule, which they have the Hornets, Grizzlies, and then they have the Magic on the 23rd. So if Halliburton doesn't play tonight, I'm sure they'll probably give him kind of limited minutes the next couple games to make sure that he doesn't get hurt and how to re-aggravate that injury. But Halliburton is questionable as of an hour ago. Yeah, he's a game time decision. I think I've seen a couple things about them leaning more towards he's playing, but even if he's playing and he's not 100%, I'm really big on this Clippers team right now. I think if there's any team defensively that can kind of stop the Pacers, it's going to be LA. As you can see, look, when they're winning these games, they're not winning like close. If you look in there, they've won 8 of their last 10. And if you look at their wins, a 5th place Sacramento team, they win by 14 and they won by 20 against them. They beat the Nuggets by 9. They beat the Warriors twice, 1 by 8, 1 by 1. They beat the Knicks on a back-to-back by 22. Both teams are having the same amount of rest. So there's no advantage in that way. But I think the Clippers are going to pull this one out. I think the way they're playing is just going to be too much. It's going to be overwhelming because the big thing we've noticed in a lot of these games is the power forwards have been super dominant. I'm going to actually pull up the box scores from the last couple games and show you guys. But I think, like we talked about how the Buccaneers, something happened and they got and someone figured out how to beat them in the passing game. Someone has figured out how to dominate this Pacers team. and we're gonna show you just off of this. So watch. So here's their box score. So let's look at their top scores in each game here. Well, if it would actually let me see the games, that would make it 5 times better. So let me here while we're trying to figure this one out. The score is better. But no, so I'll go ahead and so as these games have been going on, the Pacers have been giving up more and more points to the big men on teams that have been more dominant. So as we got them up on the score here. Let's look at their last game against Minnesota. If you look at it, Karl Anthony Towns drops 40, right? You look at their game before, they give up a triple-double to a point guard. And I believe, if I remember right, Kuzma dropped 30 and Poole dropped 30. So they have 2 games right there or 2 players right there that should not be putting up 30 points apiece against you if you play actual defense. But they gave up a triple-double. Kuzma has 31. Poole has 30. The game before that, they give up 64 to Giannis. And then the game before that, they gave up the only player who hasn't scored on them has been who hasn't really scored a lot on them as a big is Isaiah Stewart, and he's not really a scoring big. So they've been giving up a lot of points to power forwards. So I think looking at Kawhi and Paul George's point line is something to look at tonight. I know Paul George isn't a power forward, but he's going to play a lot of minutes down low. And I think with Miles Turner's offense coming in, his defense has struggled, and that's where this is going to be coming from. So give me the Clippers money line. You can look at like Kawhi 25 points and Paul George 20 points at like minus 180. I think I took both of their point line. I took both of them to score 20, and I took Harden 8 assists, and it was like plus 110 as a parlay. So that's one to look at. The next one is going to be this Houston game. We're taking Houston plus 4.5. This one's simple now. If you look in their last 5 since the tournament ended, they've covered the spread in 4 of 5. The only one they didn't was against a Bucks team that has been very dominant, and they still kept it within a bucket of the spread. Now, if you look at their last 10, they've covered this in 6 of their 10. But the big thing to look at here is that they were on a 5-game winning streak going into that game, and now they're facing a Cleveland team who they played well against a Hawks team that's kind of streaky. And this is going to be a Cleveland team with no Garland, no Mobley, so their second and third best scorer are gone. You're going to have to rely on Jarrett Allen and like Karis LeVert and even Okoro. And I just think this Houston Rockets team has too much explosive potential to justify going against them. I get because Donovan Mitchell had such a great game. That's probably why. And Houston lost. That's probably why they're the underdog here. But the thing to look at also is Cleveland is 7-15-1 against the spread in their last 23 games as a favorite. They have not covered that well as a favorite. And they're going against this team who has just been playing great basketball this year. Look for Houston to win this. I like the under here in this too, but give me the spread as a safety play there, and we'll go with the spread here. Our next 2 are going to be in this Bulls game right here, and this is simple. We're taking Bulls. I caught it at plus 11. It's plus 10.5 right now. I still like it here. Plus 10.5 should be easy against this Bulls team, who without LaVine has just been going off this month. If you look, their first game without LaVine was this one right here. They have covered every game but their game against the Nuggets, and they still only lost by 8. So they have not had a double-digit loss since LaVine has come out. Philly, on the other hand, has covered the spread 5 consecutive games, but look who they were playing. Look at their last 10 matchups. After they played a 4-game stretch that involved barely beating the Thunder, dominating a Lakers without LeBron, dominating an injury-prone Pelicans team, and losing without Embiid to the Celtics, they almost lost to the Wizards, and they couldn't cover a 10-point spread. They beat the Hawks by 11 with a 9-point spread. Then they played the Wizards again. They played the Pistons back-to-back, and they played the Hornets. They have not had an actual competition in the since December 1st. So we've had 2 weeks straight of them playing lottery teams that are all fighting for the number one pick right now. So, which has led to Joel Embiid dropping 40 points a game. Now, as we get closer towards the end of the season, obviously, this isn't like this is a bad team that's playing cupcake games every week. But I think the way that Chicago is playing, this is a big chance for them to cover a spread. I think this is a big letdown spot for the Sixers. So give me the spread there, 10.5. And I caught this at 226, so it's even better odds. Now we're taking the over here. If you look, same thing. Since the first game without Levine, they have went over every game except for a Hornets game, which was very ugly. And they just missed the line by 6 points in their Denver game that they lost by that they didn't cover. But every other game, the lines have been set around 220 to 225. And there you can see they're putting up 240, 234, 262, 233, 242, 233 in the games that they have covered. So when they are hitting, they're blowing these out the water. I think both these teams coming off at least a day rest here, playing in Philly, I think they're both going to play fast. I think they're going to be playing quick, and I think they're going to be scoring a lot. And so now we go to our last play. Obviously, we have some you could definitely, I don't like taking these 240, 250s over, but this is one that's in play because of how bad the Pistons are playing. There's a lot of these games where the money line's not even worth touching, but the spread is just too high to justify. I don't know if I want to trust Brooklyn another time to cover the spread for me, but the big one I have to end the night for NBA is going to be the Lakers money line against the Knicks. Now, living 15 minutes from the Garden, I don't like fading the Knicks because I love going to their games, and fading a team that I watch a lot just makes me sad. But we're fading them tonight. If you can see on the road, they've played 10. Both teams have played they've played 15 games on the road for New York. They have not been playing well. They've kind of struggled here. And not only that, if you can see when they've played Western Conference teams here, and this thing, look, 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 1-4. They're 1-5 against the Western Conference this year. Specifically on the far Western side, not like Midwest, but like Utah, Phoenix, LA, they're 1-2. That was a big win against Phoenix, but this Clippers team was just too much for them. They're going against a Lakers team. If you could see, look, they have only lost 2 games. They're 13-2 at home this year. Given the fact that they have had about 3 days rest going into this game, we're going to see LeBron and AD, and I think they're just going to be too much without Mitchell Robinson in the lineup. Hartenstein and Randall are going to be forced to guard AD, and I think they're going to both see a lot of foul trouble early, and we're going to have to see Josh Hart and RJ guarding LeBron, and I just don't like that matchup. I really like the Lakers here in this case, so we're going to take Lakers money line there. And we'll have some props and some parlays out later. There wasn't a lot of value that I saw on the board early this morning. So make sure you guys check out our Twitter at Gotham Gambling, and for frequency's sake, where we have most of these plays posted live every single day throughout the day. We're just going to constantly have I think what I'm going to try to do this week as a Christmas present for everyone is I'm going to just every time I put out a parlay, I'm going to post it live, and we're going to just give you guys some free sauce, some free food, help you guys buy these last minute Christmas presents. So make sure you guys tune into that. Coming up after the break, we're going to go over our pass and plays for week 16, Thursday night football plays. And then we're going to come back with and build our same game parlay for No Sweat, and our NBA stepped up for the NFL, and our stepped up NBA parlay for on DraftKings. So make sure you guys stay tuned in for that.
Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. And with over 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all of your home improvement projects. Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973, and with over 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all of your home improvement projects. This family-owned business has you covered on all your needs. Protect your home or building from the elements today and get great roof repair services. Need new windows? No problem. Durham Remodeling can upgrade your windows and doors. Whether you want to upgrade the little details in your home or office, or want to tear a room down and start fresh, the expert contractors at Durham Remodeling have your back. Even the smallest changes can completely transform your space. Ready to start entertaining your friends for backyard barbecues? Durham Remodeling will help you plan, design, and build your deck and patio for the perfect outdoor space. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 today for your free estimate for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715.
Welcome back. Just an update on our early morning sweat. We were at 124 total points with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. We are going to be watching this one very closely. If you did take what we were saying earlier, take that 132.5 when it was about 5 minutes left 5 minutes into the second half. I think you're a little more comfortable than what I am right now. But nonetheless, we're going to take it as we go. And we're going to, I'm watching this game very closely right now. This should be an easy no sweat, but we are sweating like crazy on this one. So while we're watching this game, let's go over the Week 16 slate that we have ahead. So our first game is going to be the Saints and the Rams, and we are going to be passing on this game. This Saints team has just been up and down lately. They haven't been playing the best when they need to, and when they just play great against bad teams, and they struggle against average teams and good teams. So with that being said, I wouldn't touch either side of this. I want to see kind of how the line moves. We might have a play for this Thursday night, but as of now, we're passing. We have another 3 games on Saturday featuring 4 teams we already saw, and what we have for that one is Cincy and Pitt. Cincy money line for a full unit, and we're taking 0.6 of a unit for the spread. It's at -2.5 right now, so we're obviously going to lock that one in with ease. Cincy has been playing great under Jake Browning, and we really saw his first real test last week, and he came through great after struggling in the first half. Pitt has a little bit better defense than the Vikings, but they're going to have to play great to win this game. I think Pitt's just struggling. I know it's hard to fade Tomlin as a home underdog, but they said Mason Rudolph's going to play. I just don't see any way this team is going to win. I think the big problem why the spread's so low still is because Jamar Chase is probably questionable after the hit he took on Saturday. So we just have to really watch out for that. But with the only thing, if you're looking player prop wise, look for Warren and Najee going up against this run defense. I think they could possibly have good games, but I don't want to trust them after the way Najee has hurt me in like consecutive weeks in a row. So with that, we're going to go to Buffalo and the Chargers with that one. That is going to be a very, very simple play and we're just taking the over. I don't trust any spread. The spread was at 14 this morning. It dropped down to 12. So I don't know what these books are seeing that's caused it to drop in the last 4 hours since I saw it at about 8 a.m. But the Lions, oh my God, I'm looking at the wrong notes at the same time. Jesus Christ. The Chargers are just god awful. This defense is terrible. They're on a backup quarterback. I can see the Bills putting up 42 points on their own. If they want to really make a statement and solidify Any tiebreakers that need to be done, any plays that they need to get done, it's going to have to be in the form of a dominating game on Saturday. I think this game goes over 42.5. I wouldn't trust either side on the money line or the total, as we're going to pull that back up here. 42.5 looks like a really good spot. So, like I said, we're going to take that and we're going to hope for the best here as we go on to the next game. I got Lions -3. I am rocking with the Lions. I do not care about anything else except for rocking with Dan Campbell and the Lions, a divisional matchup. They face these guys twice in the next 3 weeks. And the Lions need a big win here to pretty much solidify the division. I think they're going to come out strong. Give me them on the win here. We're at 130 on this total with a minute 30 left. We are sweating this game right now. I never thought I would sweat an 11 a.m. basketball game between Louisiana Monroe and Jacksonville, but here we are. Good God, what am I doing with my life? So we're going to take that Lions -3 Sunday, and now we're going to go on to the Sunday games. Sunday games, we have a lot we might not be taking with a lot of these late games that don't really have any consequences. Jets, Commanders, I'm passing on this. We don't know what's going to be going on with Howell. Wilson might not play, and we're going to see a backup and a third-string quarterback go against each other. It's a low spread, a low total. If you take anything, take the under, but I feel like games like this, we always see a low under, and they go over, so I'm just passing. Green Bay and Carolina, I'm leaning Packers -4. The Packers need a big win to stay alive, and Carolina, I think, might be kind of let down, kind of have this, okay, we've won a game, we can kind of relax now. So I think we're just going to take I think we're just going to take the Packers -4, but that's going to be a low lean on that one. Cleveland, Houston, I'm waiting. I want to see what the injury status is for most of these guys in this game before I make a take. If Stroud is out, I would, as soon as you see the notification that CJ Stroud is out, I would immediately take the spread before any of the lines pick it back up. For example, when we heard the news that Dobbs was not going to be playing, I immediately picked up that the books hadn't seen anything yet, or they hadn't moved anything yet, and I caught the -2.5 spread for the Bengals in that game. So that's one to always look at. We have Indy, Atlanta. I'm passing. I think the Colts got lucky with the win, but with a team that just is not playing good. Atlanta kind of needs a win, but they're garbage. I just don't like this game at all, so I'm just going to stay away from it. If you take anything, it would be Colts money line before the lines start kicking up a little too high. I think it was -180 last I saw. It's down to 120 now, so that's crazy. Then we go on to the Seahawks-Titans game. I'm waiting because I want to see what they're going to do. The Titans played a very solid game. They just got kind of cooked at the end there, and I want to see what's going on with the Geno Smith situation because that might decide what's going on for this line here. So we'll go on to the next one, which is our first 4 o'clock game on Sunday, Jags-Bucks. Waiting again. Trevor Lawrence got put in concussion protocol, so I do want to see what they're going to do with him and how that's going to go. But with that being said, I think this is will be a good game. I think if you could find both sides of these pretty much as an underdog, so you just got to pick which book. MGM has the Bucks as an underdog. FanDuel has the Jags as an underdog. So if you're looking for a side, I think that's probably the best side to take on either side of these. So give me that. We got Cowboys, Dolphins. Over 51 is our play on this. Dallas is going to look for a big bounce back game. And with Miami looked great without Tyreek against a solid defense. So I think this is going to make them even better against a better defense. We don't know what Mike McDaniel's got up his sleeve. I think he pulls out something here, and we see a game where it's going to come down to a last-minute field goal, and they're going to hit the over here. Both teams have scored 20 points, I think, easily. We are staying away from this Bears-Cardinals game. No way I would bet this. I might find something and take it later, but as of now, we're just not touching it. Denver, New England. I don't understand why this isn't higher. Honestly, I get the Broncos got beat pretty bad, and I think that might be why. But the Broncos -6 should be with ease. I think their offense is pretty capable enough to stop the Patriots. The only thing I would look for is watch Zeke's running props, because the Broncos have a terrible running defense. And given the fact that they don't have a quarterback, I can see him getting a lot of yards this week. So that's something to look out for. Chiefs, Raiders, we're going on the over. We're going 43 here. Actually, that's even better. You can find it 41.5. I would take that in a heartbeat. I'm actually going to take that now and put a unit on it right now. These two teams played really well last time. There's something between these two teams where they always play hard and it always goes high scoring. And this is a more inspired offense out in Vegas. And I think with that being the case, I think they'll come out a little bit ready to try to see if they can upset the Chiefs. So give me that. We're going to trust that one right there. We're going to wait on this game. The only bet really you could take is Boston Scott. That's the Giant killer. He always tends to play good. He always ends up scoring a touchdown. So that might be a plus 1,000, like put like a half a unit or like a tenth of a unit on it to win like a unit. And last but not least, Baltimore, San Francisco on Christmas Day at 8 o'clock, the primetime game. We are 100% going to take the Ravens here. I caught it at 4. It's at 5 now. It's went up a whole point in the last couple hours. But I love the spot here. I think the Ravens, as good as they are, the Niners are just too good. And I think they're going to come out strong. They're going to come out looking to dominate like they did against the Eagles. I could even see an over here possibly, but I'm going to take the spread right now. So there you have it. That is our bets for the bets for this upcoming week. So now we're going to go over what we like tonight. This is such a weird game because you have two teams that are good when their starting quarterbacks are in, but both of these quarterbacks are not healthy. And that's the big thing, is that both of these quarterbacks, we're going to see, I think if he does play, we're not going to see the best performance from Jalen Hurts, because he's been dealing with the flu that's been so bad. He's been downgraded twice this week. You got Geno Smith, who hasn't been playing, but the big thing is Drew Lock has actually been playing fairly well. So we said we were going to wait on this game last week. I think we got to just I think it just might be a game we might have to just stay away from. Eagles D is struggling, but do we really trust any kind of total in a Drew Lock Mariota matchup? Not really. If Hurts plays, it's no bet. If he sits, I would take the under immediately and see if you can get it before it kicks severely low. Let me check what it is right now. It was like 45.5 this morning. It's still at 45, so I would maybe put like half a unit on it if you really want to take something. But other than that, I wouldn't trust anything in this game. I think the only play I've made for this game was I took DeAndre Swift's rushing yards. Just because, let's see if I can find the stat here. Let me pull it up and I'll switch the screen for you guys to see. So he's kind of went on and off this game. As you can see, a lot of their games, he's kind of gotten close to this line. But the big thing is a couple of these teams where he hasn't got it have been very good running defenses. And a couple where he has got it are teams that have kind of struggled a bit against the run. And yet he hasn't hit this against bottom rushing defenses. But we're playing a team that gives up 95 rushing yards a game. And I think if Hurts doesn't play, his line will kick up because there won't be anyone really in the offense. He's only projected about 50, but I really like this. You could take him like 40 yards and then parlay it with something to get the odds a little higher. But I'm going to trust Swift here. I think he's going to have a big game tonight. So that's all we got for that. We're going to head to our last break, and then we're going to put together a no sweat bet and an NBA stepped up same game parlay for you guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that.
For frequency's sake has you covered on all things sports. From the squared circle to the hardwood and the gridiron to the speedway, we've got something for everyone. Walk down the aisle with the boys from Cards Subject to Change every Sunday as they take a deep dive into everything pro wrestling. Need your gambling fix? We've got you there. Enter Pit Row with Rod Villagomez and Fast Money as we win the checkered flag with NASCAR, Xfinity, and truck race winners and props. Football more your style? Explore the waters of NFL DFS with DFS Deep Dive with Brian Craighead and Jordan Kernan each week. More into the science portion of the game? We've got a double dose of action there. The Professor John Bush and Dennis Michelson take you into their science lab and dissect your week in the data lab. Want an analytical take? Nick Gurl and the team at Gridiron AI come to you each week with The Lab. Need to know who to start last minute? The network's flagship show, For Fantasy's Sake, is here in a pinch. The fellows come to you live every football Sunday from 10 to 11:30 Central with the week's best DFS, gambling, and lineup advice. And wrap up your Sundays with Joe Winkle and Nick Brinks as they come to you live with educated ignorance looking at all the day's action. Can't get enough of Joe? He comes to you 3 times a week. Not enough football on Sunday? Not a problem. Kick your feet up at lunch on Monday and slip on into the football lounge with Mark and Dan while they look at the week that was in news, notes, and more. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get into it. We got about 10 minutes here, so we'll try to make this one as quick as possible. Oh my God, we have 4 seconds left. We are at 140. We took this at, I think it was 140 and a half. Look, I'll show you guys look, you can see this right here. We literally need 1 point in the next. Oh my God, what a loss. What a loss. That hurts. I might go cry. Oh my God, what a loss. Ugh. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. 140 on a 141 line. Good God. Okay, let's lock in. Let's lock in here. So first play I'm going to add into this is we're going to do Tyler Lockett, and there's a reason why. So look, so he's hit this game every game this year but one, but not to mention the one game Drew Lock played, he had 89 yards. He got 17% of the targets. He got 6 targets for 6 catches. He seemed to be Drew Lock's top target. Even without Drew Lock, he's still getting a lot of plays. I don't think they have as much faith in Smith and Jigba this year, and I think they're just going to go and stay with him. So I'm going to take Lockett 25 plus yards there. The next one we're going to take is, let's see here as we go through our list. I'm going to do plays that have hit in the last 5. Charbonnet's rushing yards has been decent, but the big thing is what is he going to do with Kenneth Walker in lately? If you could see this year with Kenneth Walker in, he's still getting about 40 something a game. So in the last couple, Goddard's receiving yards this year, he's hit this line in just about every game. As you can see, as we talked about, they give the Seattle defense gives up about 260 receiving yards a game, and they give up about 56 alone just to tight ends. And I think the way this offense has been kind of going, I think he hits this. So we're gonna add 25 yards in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and add these 2 legs right now. Let's see here, we got Lockett, 25 yards. And Goddard, 25 yards. We're currently at a minus 260, so we do need a couple more legs here. You know what I think I might add in? Let me see what they have available for it. Team totals. So I'm going to add this one right here. Both teams to score 1 touchdown and 1 field goal in this game. I think that should be an easy one. I think both of these teams are going to be within that range. I think that's something to really kind of put in. If not, we could always add in. Let's do that. So we found this one right here. It's to at least 1 point to be scored in every quarter, no matter the team, no matter who it is. 1 point to score in every quarter. As we look through some more of these, we see some that only DraftKings has. Let's see here. What else do we got? I do only overs. Why do I have unders on? Unders are boring. Who wants to bet an under? Devontae over 40 yards. So as we've seen, like we said, they give he's getting overall, he's getting about 24% of the target share against a team that gives up 167 yards just to wide receivers. So let's go with that. I think we might just go with an all wide receiver parlay here. We might take that one off, as we're going to add A.J. Brown, 40 yards, and Devontae Smith. Is it 25 or 40 yards? It was 40. Okay. Yeah, we'll take that one out, and this makes it a 110. So I'll gladly take 110 there. As I'll switch the screen over. So this is our parlay, our no sweat parlay. We got it at minus 110. Just curious what other lines we could take this at. Curious. Yeah, let's go. It's a no sweat. Let's go, Ricky. Let's go risky here. We'll go Goddard 27.5. AJ Brown 44.5. And Devontae will stay at 40. So there we go. I like this play here. You could even add in that one we saw, 1 point to be scored in every quarter. We're going to add our no sweat to this, and that's going to be our play of the day for the NFL, our no sweat bet. So let's bring this over to the NBA. We have a stepped up same game parlay, or not say we have a stepped up parlay in general. Now with these, the big thing is that you can do any kind of parlay. It could be player props, it could be money lines, as long as it's a minus 500 or better, it's going to turn, you get to do this. So we'll do obviously all the ones that we usually do. So we got assists, doubles, points, points, assists, points, rebounds, assist. All the ones that we're allowed to do alternates on basically is the name of the game here. So if we look, last 5 games, Embiid's gotten a double. So we can, I kind of like that actually. I think he'll get a double tonight for sure. With the way that team's playing. Again, we're only taking overs. We don't fade here. Let's see. Let's do last 10 for basketball. So I think that's bigger. Fred VanVleet, 19.5 points and assists. Now, on the season, he's hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's hit this like 15 consecutively. They're facing a Cleveland team. 2 point guards. They're giving up 22 and 6 a game. They haven't played head to head yet, but if you look at some of these teams have good defensive point guards, and he's still putting up about 29, 30. Some of these, even we had one game, we took it and he only had 3 assists, but he had 26 points. So that's one to look at. I don't know if I want to place that one for sure. It's crazy. I didn't even realize he had hit that. Against power forwards, they're not giving up the most. Kobe White over 17.5 point almost seems like a lock every single night. But the big thing is that we already took Embiid here, so I don't want to make that a same game parlay. Or do I? Let me see what the odds on him getting 15 plus is. No, you can't even bet 15 plus. I just don't want to risk that one then. We got Julius Randle here. Is going over 17.5 in 10 consecutive games. He's done this in 90% of his last 20. He's done this in 19 of his 25 this year. Head to head, he has hit this line every game he's played against his former team. As you can see, they're giving up about 26 points per game to two power forwards. And I think with Robinson out, he's going to get a lot more minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add that one in as well. As this screen would work with me. What was the line? It was 18, right? Yeah. But let's see. He's hit 20 or more every game. And in that 20 game stretch, he's hit 20 or more in all of them but Milwaukee and Miami, two teams he hasn't really done well against in general. So I think we'll just go ahead and take his 20, I think. Might just be the best on that one. So that's play number 2. We got Luka dropping 30 against his fellow European. See, we could add Embiid's rebound line, you over 10.5 rebounds. Maybe let me see if that'll let us do it. Oh, it won't even let us add that if you do that. So we'll stay away from that one. But I do like that prop, so we'll probably make a couple parlays with that one. Porter Jr., head-to-head, he's hit this in the one game he played against them this year. This season, he's hit this line in 23 of his 27 games against a team that gives up about 8 rebounds a game to power forwards. I like that one, so we're definitely going to add that one in so we can have something on the something on this Nuggets game. Oh, wow. Just in, DeMonte Casey just got suspended the rest of the season for his hit on Pittman. So that is interesting. I don't know what y'all's thoughts are on that one, but that's definitely an interesting story that's probably developing right now. That's kind of big. It's kind of crazy to even see. As we look head to head, they haven't played this team yet this year, but this season, as we look, the big thing when you do any bowl stat is you got to look at without Levine because that's the best way to gauge them for the next couple of weeks. If you look, the 9 games Levine has not played, Kobe White has just went off. So obviously, yeah, we got to do it. I got to do it. I got to add him as 3-pointers in there because that's just too good of a line. Him to get 3 3-pointers, and then we'll add in Embiid double-double here. And we'll just take this one out. So that puts us at a 158. Do we add a 5th leg here? Let me see. We're still in the 100s. That's actually the last 100 one. I'm curious with this one. When they played earlier this year, he had 10. Cats hit this line in 21 of 24 games. and they're giving up about 9. They're not really giving up a lot of rebounds out here, but I think 7 is a decent number for Cat. I'm going to see what he's projected. He's projected about 10. So, okay, I'll let this one be the one to hurt me. We're going to add in. We're going to go back. Go to this T-Wolves game. Wait, let me see the Hawks. Because I seen something with Trey that I really liked. If his assist line is projected high, then I really like it. I know we just went over our time. DJ, don't yell at me. We're trying to get the people what they want. No, okay, so we'll leave it at this. We have it at plus 158 right now. I'll share the screen over so you guys can see it. This right here, 20 points from Randall, 6 boards from Michael Porter Jr., and 3 threes from Kobe White, and a double-double from Embiid. With the stepped up, we bring that to a 197, so $10 to win you 19. That is going to be it for us today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We went a little bit longer than I originally would have liked to. I was hoping for kind of a little bit of a shorter show. But like I said, guys, thank you guys all for watching. As it says below, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Twitter, Threads, Instagram, whatever social media you have, we have. So make sure you guys follow along with us there. Thank you guys all again for watching, and have a great day.